Hey, it's Nick Fundytus here from Royal LePage, and this is Nick Answers Reddit. And this week's question is all about staging. So it comes from, who's the user here? From Polar Bear Paradise. Well, that's not a bad name. Who says that realtors are not including staging in their commission? Is this the new normal? So when I sold my previous home years ago, the market was really hot, and all the standard realties were including staging in their standard commission, which he said is 2.5 and 2.5 to each side. I ended up calling around a bunch and found an agent who did 4% total, so 2 and 2%. Although I recognize that's probably because the market was so crazy at the time. Now I'm selling again, and I'm not even finding anybody who does staging in the standard 5%. I know it's not always worth it, but I do think that this home in particular is very well suited for staging. So is this the new normal? I'm in the Orilla area of Ontario. So my answer this week is, there's some nuance here to this one. So I have noticed that staging and including it is very market dependent. It will also depend on what kind of property is being listed and what kind of realtor you're working with too. Here are a few good things that you might be able to negotiate, and any good realtor is going to know how to make use of these different kind of staging tools and discuss whether they might be appropriate. Now, whether or not these are included is going to depend on a few things. One of them is going to be whether you're working with a full service realtor or a discount realtor. And there's no set commissions here. However, you're generally going to find that a discount realtor is going to charge you, I don't know, maybe 1.5% or less for your side of the transaction. So for the listing side, and then a full service realtor is going to probably charge you, on the higher side of that. So 2.5% seems to be pretty typical in our market. But like I said, there's no fixed percent here. So staging consultation. So this is a really easy one to do. And this is one that even if your realtor doesn't include this, it's well worth it for you to pay yourself. So on our team, we always include a staging consultation at the minimum for our clients. And for most people, this is actually an ideal situation. So a stager spends 2 to 3 hours with you, the seller, and recommends what should be decluttered, depersonalized, and rearranged on how to show the property at its best. So this tends to be the least disruptive for the sellers who are living in the house. So if you are living in your house, it's just a consultation that's going to show you how to use your stuff to maximize the value of your house. If you still have to live there, if you still have kids or dogs or cats or whatever, this is kind of the least disruptive to everybody. Next would be a partial physical staging. So this is going to cost anywhere from a few $100s to about $3,000 in our local market anyways. So for vacant or for underfurnished properties, so let's say like a divorce where someone has moved some of their stuff out, or you've got a military relocations all the time where you've got one partner staying behind and some of the furniture has moved on to the new house. We'll sometimes bring in appropriate furnishings to show the house the way that most people are going to use it. So a common example of this, besides what I just mentioned, would be night tables and extra lighting for a bedroom, because a lot of people have, they've just got a mattress on one of those metal frames, might not have a headboard even, and just you kind of fix it up so it's a little more hotel roomy. And then a dining chair and tables in a dining room that might have been used for an office during COVID for the last few years. We want to turn it back into a dining room to kind of maximize the value you're getting out of it. We don't like to remind people when we're staging that you're going to be, you might be stuck in your home working or kind of like finding places around the house to have a home office. That's not the feeling we want to give. When we do this, we usually stage for at least the first month so that it's in all the photos. And then my policy is to split the cost with clients going forward after that. I want my clients to have some skin in the game. I don't want them to feel that staging is free. So we're going to share some of the costs there. Full staging, so the cost goes all over the place. It's going to depend on how big your place is. A 3-bedroom townhome might cost you $10,000 or more for a couple of months. So for high-end listings or where we have the margin in the commission, think like $1 million and up, I'll include the first month or two of full staging if it's appropriate. So generally a vacant house. A good example of this is we're listing a penthouse listing coming up. It's condominium, and we want to give that luxury feel. However, the furniture that's in there with the current owners, it's nice, but it's not luxury. It doesn't completely convey the value of the house. So once those owners move out, which they are going to be moving out before we list it, we are going to stage it with appropriate furniture. So generally this is done by creating suites. So we don't furnish every single nook and cranny of the house, but we show how the main rooms are going to look. So your living room is getting staged, your dining room is getting staged, the principal bedroom is getting staged, linens are being hung on, like white linens are being hung, white towels and stuff. Sometimes we create a little suite in certain areas where we want to draw attention to, like a little reading nook or something like that. Yeah, and like I said, with white linens for towels and stuff, and sometimes on beds, we'll do white linens with a contrasting color to kind of make it all pop. The idea is to make it look like a high-end hotel or a high-end Airbnb where the buyer can project their own imagination on it and not spend time dissecting how their furniture is going to fit or who the current owners are. If we go beyond staging for a month or two with a client, which is very dependent on the market, we generally agree to split the cost and dependent on the client pricing appropriately. So, I mean, I have no desire to spend $10,000 to stage a property that the client refuses to price appropriately and is not going to sell. Because, I mean, the first thing you have to do when you list any property is price it appropriately to the market. Virtual staging, I mean, this is a great option as well. This is a good alternative to partial staging or to complement other methods. In short, you've got a photo editor that either adds furniture in a vacant or partially furnished home or edits out unwanted things, like if the cat wandered into the picture. We just edited out, somebody left a paper towel roll on top of a cupboard and we didn't notice it during the photos, so we edited that out afterwards. For entry level and mid range homes, this can actually be a really good way to furnish everything, because I mean, you don't have the margin to fully physically stage, I mean, a $300,000 or $400,000 house. It just doesn't work. But it is a good way for for $500 to $1,000, which is very doable. We can include that in our budget to fully stage a house. It can be, and the photos are the way that you get people in the door, and then they can picture themselves in the house once they arrive. And we still need to make sure that we're lighting it properly and keeping it clean and all that kind of stuff, and yard work is kept up. But it leaves money in the budget for the other types of marketing that we need to do, which, there's a lot of stuff that goes into selling a house. When there's certain times when physical staging shouldn't be used. Basically, if you have a dog, a cat, or a toddler, or you are a smoker, we're not physically staging your house. Sorry, it's too dangerous for the furniture. So in these cases, virtual staging or staging consultation are really the only reasonable solutions. What should your realtor include? Well, it depends. Partly it depends how much you're paying them. So if you're paying a full service realtor, you should expect to have more included. And if you're on more on the discount side or like the mere service type of thing, there's not a whole lot you can expect to be included there. Other things you might expect included and certainly can negotiate if they aren't listed right away, is things like a pre-list clean, pre-list home inspection, handyman work. We usually split costs of handyman work up to about $1,000 with our clients. Status certificate ordering for a condominium. There's all kinds of things under the sun that you can think of, and if they work, we're happy to include them, and I think a lot of good realtors are as well. Some discount realtors are going to may offer these as a la carte options. They're not necessarily going to have the budget to do that, but not all of them do. There's a wide variety of different real estate services out there for you. Many of these things give value beyond their line item expense, so it's at least discussing with whoever you hire. And in some cases, it might be worth hiring some of these people yourself. Like if you are working with a for sale by owner company, maybe you should pay to do the virtual staging yourself. It can be a really good idea, and it can add more than that to the eventual sale of your home. So anyways, to the person who asked this great question, good luck on your listing. Obviously I don't work on Orilla, so I can't point you to the right person, but if you are looking down there, I can recommend great realtors in a lot of markets, so I'm always happy to be asked. I'm a realtor in Ottawa. That's why I know these things, and I love having your questions. So reach out anytime. And if you're looking to make a move in Ottawa, that's what me and my team are here for. We are Ottawa's People First Realtors. Bye for now, and we'll see you next week.